Hey BOD, it's me Pal. I hope that you all are enjoying the board meeting and the wonderful tacos. I want to start off by first apologizing for my absence today. I had to go home for baptism, and so as a way to make up for my absence, I put together this little video to give you some necessary training that you will all need to move forward in our hiring committees. If you have any questions, feel free to talk to me about them at any time. Or you can also ask the beautiful co-chairs who have gone through various trainings and have participated in various committees. They are also a resource for you. And also as a resource is SIO, so don't hesitate to ask any of us. We're always here to help you and to address any questions you might have about hiring. Secondly, I want to note that this is the first time I make a video, so I'm just going to have fun with this, and I hope that you have fun with me as well. So any positive feedback, and I do mean positive, is always welcome. And so we're gonna get started. So let's get started. So who makes up hiring committees? Hiring committees are made up of one E-Squared co-chair, one outreach BOD member, one retention BOD member, and one general BOD member, and then the current person in that position. Except in the case of the E-Squared co-chair hiring committee, where it's two E-Squared co-chairs, one outreach BOD member, one retention BOD member, one general BOD member, the organizing director, and the SOAR advisor Sayo Fujioka as ex officio members. So now we come to our first principle in hiring committees, which is being fair and why it's important. So what does it mean to be fair? Being fair means everyone has equal access to the knowledge that the job is available, equal access to applying, so everyone has access to the application information. Everyone has fair review of the application, which means that the committee reviews everyone's application, fair review during the interview process, and fair review of rating and selection. So in order for hiring committees to maintain their integrity, hiring committees must be free of conflicts of interest. So that means every member needs to honestly assess whether they can be objective in evaluating each candidate. If you happen to date someone who's applying for a position, you may not want to sit on this hiring committee. Or if you have a personal bias against someone, then please remove yourself. Please note that if you feel you cannot be objective, then you need to remove yourself from hiring committees. And all deliberations need to be confidential. So once you've assessed whether you can be objective, let's get into the nitty-gritty of screening applications. Screening applications. Hiring committees are not required to interview all applicants. The committee first decides on qualifications to prioritize and based on the job qualification and select applicants for interview based on these qualifications. So the committee must look at qualifications that are absolutely necessary to fulfill the position in order to screen applicants. The hiring committee can also assign weights to certain criteria. Once applicants have been selected, the committee must notify applicants who are and are not getting an interview by phone or email. If a person is unable to perform their duties because they lack necessary qualifications, they can be released during their probationary period through corrective action, or which is the personnel committee. So now we're moving into the interview process, which has two parts. One is setting interview questions, and the second, the actual process of interviews. When setting interview questions, please keep the following in mind. Questions should be related to the job qualifications. They should be concise and easy to understand. Not too numerous, so remember we only have a limited amount of time. Have a standard set of questions for all applicants based on the requirements for the position. And don't ask for info that is illegal. These are the kinds of questions that we can create as a committee. So some of them are direct questions. So what experience do you have with budgets? Clarifying questions. In your application you said, open-ended questions. What do you think is the best way to engage others and to participate? Problem or situational questions. What would you do if? Actual or past behavioral questions. Think of a time when you were. Probing questions. Please elaborate more on what you mean by student-initiated. So once you've created your questions, we actually move into the interview process. So when interviewing, remember to treat all applicants with respect. Prepare for interviews by being on time, organized, and accessible. Communicate clearly and give the same information to each applicant. Put the applicant at ease. Introduce everyone, provide the applicant with water, and overall be friendly. If the applicant misunderstands a question, please restate the question in a different way so that they can fully answer the question. As you're conducting interviews, remember to keep in mind to never let it show if you feel a candidate is not the person for the job. If the candidate senses that they aren't being taken seriously, they can conclude that the process is not fair and file a formal complaint. Always leave time at the end of the interview for the applicant to ask any questions that they might have, and then close the interviews by thanking them and describing the rest of the process. So now we move into the final process of hiring, which is ranking the candidates. So don't worry folks, we're almost done. But the wait and feel is fine. So ranking candidates. Each committee member needs to check his or her prejudices before beginning this process. Candidates should be rated on how well they meet the qualifications and not on personal characteristics like what they wore that day or if they're cute. If a committee member seems to bring in personal prejudices, it is the responsibility of the committee members to speak up, clarify, and bring the discussion back to a fair assessment. At the end, once a candidate has been selected, it is the responsibility of the committee to notify all candidates once the person selected accepts their position. So things to keep in mind when ranking candidates. So personal and direct knowledge of candidates may be discussed only if it's specific and relevant to the job. So if you actually saw someone do something. No hearsay, period. Preferences or considerations may not be made on race, religion, sex, color, ethnicity, or national origin. Committee members' notes and discussions need to be legible and turned in at the end of the process. All documents are to be kept on file for the required number of years. So last note on the entire process. If the pool is not sufficient or if the applicants being reviewed are not qualified enough, the recruitment may be reopened and additional applicants invited to apply. The process of reviewing applications and conducting interviews would be repeated. The committee should not hire anyone just to fill the position. It is better to reopen the pool even if it takes longer. Throughout the hiring process, always keep in mind the practices of unity that E-Squared has created. Let's go over them together. So the first one is be willing to constructively challenge, check, and grow. Be honest, invest and take ownership. Actively work to build trust. Avoid judging. Respect yourself and each other. So act out of love. Be patient with yourself and others, and be solution-based. So once we've gone through everything, we're actually finally done. Congratulations, you're now officially trained.